You are watching The Book Club. Every Wednesday, we handpick the best books to improve your life. 15 books that will make you more interesting. Welcome to Alux.com, the place where future billionaires come to get inspired. If you're not subscribed yet, you're missing out. Welcome back, Aluxers, for another video made by our pretty awesome team here at Alux.com. We think today is a great day to learn more about how you can be a lot more interesting as a person. So we're taking a look at the 15 books that will make you a more interesting person. But what makes for an interesting person? Interesting people are true to themselves, and they never hold back regardless of who they're with, wherever they are or whatever they're doing. They have incredible experiences, pretty much all the time, amazing friends, a vision for their life, the ability to tell a story well. They're able to hold a conversation about pretty much any topic, and so much more. Lucky for you, we've made a video on how to be a more interesting person. You can check it out in the top corner or at the end screen. Some of these books you've seen featured on our channel before, and some are new, but we guarantee they will aid you in doing exactly what the title says. Number 1. Walden by Henry David Thoreau. Starting off with a book that describes an experiment where H.D. Thoreau wanted to see if he could truly isolate himself from others and survive by eliminating all the superfluous luxuries, living a totally plain, simple life. He details this 2-year experiment as a personal discovery for a new way of living consciously in a more thoughtful, introspective spirit. It's a fantastic read, relevant for anyone interested in discovery through minimalism. This could be a perfect lecture while you're doing your morning run or a workout. And to make it easier for you, just go to alux.com/freebook and sign up. If it's your first time, you can get instant access to the book for free, all thanks to our awesome friends at Audible. Number 2. Candide by Voltaire. This is another timeless classic that's somewhat paradoxical and wonderful at the same time, where the hero travels the world, observing horror after horror and taking them in a cheerful stride. Candide explains that the lives we're currently living aren't the best options of all possible worlds, but the best possible under the circumstances. Reading about the difficulties Candide went through as he becomes disenchanted by these self-important philosophies, coupled with just how fascinating a person he really was, will greatly benefit you in your journey of living a more interesting life. Number 3. The Prince by Niccolo Machiavelli. Very few books have enticed as much controversy since their inception as The Prince has. This book is about building and maintaining power, along with the virtues and qualities that make a good ruler. For over 500 years, The Prince has offered an all-encompassing education of men in power and the common traits, motives, and struggles which have portrayed leaders from Roman emperors to modern-day presidents. It's definitely a book that will make you rethink the life you want to create and how power will play a role into it. Number 4. The Righteous Mind by Jonathan Haidt. In this simple book, labeled by the New York Times as a landmark contribution to humanity's understanding of itself, Haidt reveals to you the key to understanding the miracle of human cooperation, as well as the sorrow of our eternal divisions and conflicts. The Righteous Mind is mainly about politics, along with religion, and talks about the moral judgments we make, which are rooted not in reason or facts, but the gut and emotions. It's a great little lesson about how you can trade your anger for understanding, which the author believes is more necessary now than ever before. Number 5. A Brief History of Time by Stephen Hawking. With exciting illustrations and profound imagination, Hawking aims to explain in this book complex cosmology to people with no scientific background, but who are interested in the existence of the universe, the existence of humans, along with other similar curiosities including time travel, black holes, and antimatter. Mixing the rigor of a genius scientist with the expressive talent of a masterful storyteller, A Brief History of Time discusses the forces that created the universe and the laws which govern it in a simple language that will make you wiser and at least 5 times smarter than you were before picking up the book. Number 6. Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. Most of you have heard of Viktor Frankl's remarkable memoir. We've talked about it plenty of times. But if there's any of you out there who haven't heard of it or read it yet, allow us to amaze you for a minute. Man's Search for Meaning is an autobiography of a man who spent World War II in 4 concentration camps, one of which was the most horrifying and harrowing of all, Auschwitz. There, he noticed that even though every prisoner was subjected to the same inhumane treatment, the ones who were able to survive were the ones who had a purpose to fulfill. He argues that even in a normal life, we can't avoid suffering, but if our life is driven by meaning and not by pleasure or other incentive, then we can persevere and move forward with our purpose anew. This is a truly inspiring book that pays tribute to hope in the face of unimaginable loss and has emerged as a true classic. Number 7. To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. This book is literally one of those extremely rare gems that's become an overnight success, selling in its first week 1.1 million copies and won the 1961 Pulitzer Prize. Crazy, right? Lee tells the story of a lawyer who agrees to defend a black man who's been accused of raping a white woman. It's quite the fascinating story that takes place in Alabama, United States, and is told through the perspective of the lawyer's young daughter. To Kill a Mockingbird is a sensitive, dramatic, and deeply moving story that takes readers to the roots of human behavior, to innocence and experience, love and hatred, kindness and cruelty, humor and pathos. Number 8. David and Goliath by Malcolm Gladwell. This book takes inspiration from history, psychology, and compelling storytelling to reshape the way you think about the world around you. David and Goliath helps you understand that nothing is too big for you to handle. It's pretty much to give you the superpower to see things as they are and not focus on the difficulties or circumstances, allowing you to look inward for the giant within. The book urges people to understand that in their life, they are the big deal and not the negative circumstances. It's an ideal read for people who worry about things and are not looking at their life experiences as they should. But if you want to see for yourself, go to Alux.com/freebook and sign up. If it's your first time, you'll get the audiobook version for free, thanks to our partners at Audible. Number 9. A Farewell to Arms by Ernest Hemingway. This novel comes directly as an inspiration from the author's experience in World War I. It's one of the most brutal writings to ever make its way into the world of American literature, and also one of Hemingway's greatest works. A Farewell to Arms is an exploration of war horrors and the power of human emotion. Considering war, love, and death is at every turn in this novel, it shows that this life can be adventurous and keep you on your toes in many ways. Hemingway is one of those people who helped to shape the world and deserves to have his work reach as many people as possible. Number 10. The 50th Law by 50 Cent and Robert Greene. Fear nothing. That's the main concept of this amazing book by Curtis Jackson and Robert Greene. This might be a bit different than the previous recommendations, but it's really good. The authors present a comprehensive, honest account of how Jackson rose to fame. Whatever your circumstances in life are, whatever the hand that fate has dealt you, there's an outstanding change that you can relate to the story of this rapper, who, despite the lack of opportunity, managed to turn every setback, every challenge into a huge win for himself. You can find out a little bit more about him before you start reading the book if you go to our dedicated video by clicking in the top right corner. Number 11. The 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. As you could probably expect, this book lists out the 48 ways to build power. Robert Greene was hailed as the modern Machiavelli, and he's distilled over 3,000 years of history to write these laws based on the philosophies of Machiavelli, Sun Tzu, Karl von Clausewitz, and from the lives of figures ranging from Henry Kissinger to P.T. Barnum. Written in a bold and straightforward manner, the 48 Laws of Power is ideal for you if your aim is conquest, self-defense, or simply to have a solid grasp on the rules of the game. It takes quite a long time to read and apply each law properly, but it will all be worth it. Not to mention it'll help you become way more confident in future interactions. Number 12. A People's History of the United States by Howard Zinn. This book attempts to bridge the generation gap with enduring insights into the birth, development, and destiny of a nation, while revealing the eternal narrative of national unity and progress is a smokescreen disguising the ceaseless conflict between elites and the masses, whom they oppress and exploit. A People's History of the United States may open your mind to new interpretations of our past, filling some blanks in your American history knowledge. Keep in mind that even though modern history isn't taught with the same conservative inclination, part of understanding what this book has to offer is understanding why it was written in the first place. Number 13. IQ 84 by Haruki Murakami. Okay, first let's talk about the elephant in the room to clear things up. The Q in the title is actually the pronunciation of 9 in Japanese, Kyu, Q. So basically it's 1984, but since that title was already taken by Orwell, Murakami had to improvise. Also, being the author's most ambitious undertaking to date, it's a pretty incredible love story full of mystery, fantasy, self-discovery, and a dystopian setting fit to rival Orwell's 1984 classic. This novel attempts to expose the delicacy of the webs that separate love from probable encounters, the kind from the wicked, and reality from the dreamlike stasis that people in the modern world exist in. Number 14. You Are Not So Smart by David McRaney. Although this title may sound somewhat harsh, the book is meant to point out our irrational nature as humans by combining science and psychology with humor and wit. McRaney explains that every decision we made so far in our lives that we thought was irrational was actually based on a series of underlying biases and preconceived notions that were formed throughout our lives and in some cases started when we were little kids. Chapters like learned helplessness, selling out, and the illusion of transparency provide a glimpse into the human mind in all of its glory and madness. Number 15. 1984 by George Orwell. The author wrote this anti-communist novel in 1948 to envision what 1984 would look like in London, a totalitarian state where Big Brother, the government, was always watching you and telling you what to think and believe. Some of his predictions actually became a reality, like cameras being everywhere and our bodies being scanned for weapons, and it's quite scary because a lot of people think that the book is more relevant today than it ever was. Orwell's vision of an omnipresent and ultra-repressive state is rooted in the ominous world events of his own time, post-World War II, and is given shape and substance by his sharp play on our own fears. Well, there you have it, Aluxers, the 15 books that will make you a more interesting person. Some of the books here you've heard of before and maybe you even read, but we're really curious to know, do you think any other books should have been on this list? We'll be right there with you in the comments to see what you have to say. And hold on, don't leave just yet. We still have a bonus book for those of you stuck with us until this point. Here it is. Number 16, The Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien. This book is an extraordinary work of art filled with pure excitement, according to New York Times reviews, and those who've read the book or seen the movies can attest to that. The Lord of the Rings follows the story of Frodo Baggins, a young hobbit who sets out to destroy the ring of power made by the Dark Lord Sauron before he gets the chance to use it for evil. Starting from quiet beginnings in Frodo's home, the Shire, the story ranges across Middle-earth and follows the courses of the War of the Ring, exploring many themes along the way.
Thank you for spending some time with us, Aluxer. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss a video. If you want more, we handpicked these videos you might enjoy, or head over to Alux.com for the best in fine living content on the planet. Be a part of the largest community of luxury enthusiasts in the world and tell your story.